Hi, how are you doing? This is Anna-Thea and Miss Jada Fire. I'm your evolutionary astrologer and divine feminine educator, and I'm here with Miss Jada Fire, my very dear friend. And we were talking like, okay, what are we going to plan? We had an idea of what we're going to be talking about. We want to give you your cosmic update, energy update, spiritual update. But it was so cute. What did you say? You said, well, we can't plan for magic. And that's what we want you to experience in this session today. We're here to support you in your journey and to really bring inspiration, love, and light and greater awareness to this soul journey, this deep soul journey that you are going through. So, Miss Jada Fire, how are you doing?
I'm pretty awesome. Thanks for asking, Anna-Thea. I'm just grounding back in after a really beautiful weekend of medicine wheel teaching, studying the eagle, opening the heart, and just journeying deeper into the forgiveness and the holy transmutation of this year. The year of the serpent has been very powerful. And yeah, I feel really full to the brim in my heart with the teachings of the eagle, of really seeing through the eyes of the heart and going higher, always going higher to move through obstacles and the challenges that we've all endured and faced and seen this very epic year. So, yeah, I'm grateful for this time because you and I have been on this journey together for decades, and I love to sit and ground in and call upon our angels and guides to bring forth the messages and the insights through your own inner oracle and my inner oracle and through spirit to really provide the light for our people. We're holding one another through these times. And I think it's important that we, turn off the news of the maybe the middle muddled worlds and go a little higher and feel into the essence and the message and the spiritual updates that you see and feel and that I see and feel and that we could share to illuminate the people and the vision.
Yeah,
So
because it's,
thank you.
we're going through a very sacred time right now, and it can be very stressful. It can be very mundane. It can be, like what the heck is going on? But it's what it's really calling us to do is number one, what I see is this last year, 2025, has especially been with the Neptune Saturn conjunction has been really, and they've been moving back and forth over the beginning point of the zodiac. So it's like right now they're back in Pisces. They were in Aries. Uh, and of course, like I said, they're back in Pisces. And so it's this, Pisces is very watery, wishy-washy, just, like letting it be whatever it wants to be. And Aries is like, come on, it's go time. And so we were in go time in 2025, but then we went back and now we're in this, so if you've had this feeling of like, oh my God, what am I doing? Where am I going? You're just being, you're learning how to be, but you're formulating and incubating this creative fire, Aries, inside of you. And that will really be, I feel, taking off like a rocket in 2025. And Jada, especially for you, because you have a lot of Aries in you. So it's really going to touch on you. But this year, this past year, has been getting a little bit of that Aries touch, but coming back and like, what belief systems do I need to let go of in order to really skyrocket next year? That's one of the things that I see very strongly. I mean, there's so
Mhm.
many other things, but how does that sound to you, Miss Jada Fire?
Yeah, it's feeling right on. The year of the serpent has been just I've seen and felt and experienced more of life and death and transcendence and change and breakthrough like I've never seen in my entire lifetime this year. And now we're coming to the close of it and we're opening into a whole new beginning. I think even in the numerology 2026. Isn't that a one? We're going into a
Yes,
new
yes. So
beginning.
we're in
So
a
we're
nine.
about to, yeah, pierce this veil of new beginnings. And I think it's going to look different for everyone. And I think what's required is to be in that radical non-attachment because the new is the new, like the new breath, the new day, the new practice, the new year. And then we also have the fire horse coming in as like the shepherd through into 2026. So I opened up a spirit book on horse, and I wanted to share a little bit in this call on the message of horse today. And also, like, pull some other cards that want to come through as we're holding this sacred space and container for insights.
Sure.
And yeah, one has already jumped out. So I could begin with that card and then we
That'd
can
be
bounce back
great.
and forth. But I love so much, Anna-Thea, that we have, it's like this blend of seeds and stars, right? There's this earth wisdom, and then there's this ethereal astrological realm. And, like we just were touching on over the weekend, like the medicine of the stars, and to like really work with that way shower energy and to be running that beautiful light through our vessels as we're standing and anchored here on earth, to be embodied. So I
Yeah.
think when we come together and we hold these calls, it's a nice opportunity to bring in this balance and the harmony and those pillars
I
of
totally
light.
agree. You're like the earth mama, and I'm this like cosmic being, and we kind of just bring it all together. I mean, you've had a lot of star magic coming down on you through what you've experienced in this last year. And so it's been very fascinating to witness all of this,
Mhm.
because you have been like that, or, in the mud and just, putting mud and paint on your body. And it's just so beautiful. And then all of a sudden you just like got flipped into the, cosmos, and your crown chakra just like blasted open. And you are the queen of intuition too. And so I've just witnessing what you've gone through this last year has just been really profound and powerful. You've definitely gone through a rite of passage.
Yes, absolutely. And that's actually why I chose to sit where I am. So this painting back here, I had painted for Trent Tukai, and he journeyed through this year. And this painting very much represented the energy that he was dreaming in. And it's the infinity that runs through the heart. So, like
Wow.
this message of eternal love, love never dies, whether we're here in the physical form. And I know there's many of us, I have a lot of dear friends and loved ones who've lost loved ones this year. And I think really the big teaching I've learned in this year is a healthier, enlightened relationship with death, and how, we have this precious gift of time, and we really get to honor what we're doing with our time and what we're filling our time with. I have a kitty cat that's climbing around the screen. So another guardian. And so, yeah, I just want to take a moment to honor Tukai and the teachings that he's brought through. He's really been a way shower this year to show me and to give me the teachings to bring forth to those who are ready to hear and listen, that love doesn't die, and that when we do cross the veil, especially those who are holding loved ones who are getting ready to cross, to know that it's really beautiful on the other side, and it's nothing to fear. And it is a beautiful realm in which we can really reach our loved ones in a very quantum way. And the mysteries are like infinite, and the way we're touched and we can connect and remember, like holding one another in that holy high light, and to really feel into the web of eternal love. And so I just want to start with that honoring. And the first card that's come forward is the zebra. And the zebra is all about being safe. So it's like safe, secure arrival to anywhere we're headed that's unknown or treacherous. And it's just like we can't see. And it's interesting because the serpent actually, as the serpent sheds its skin, it goes through a time where it's blinded, and and it goes dark, and the serpent cannot see where it's going, and it goes through this like shedding of the skin, and then the new vision and the new skin comes through. And it almost feels like we're at that place where it's like maybe we don't know, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And we can lean into our guides and our allies and God and spirit to take us through that radical trust as we open to this new year, which of the horse is, the first thing that comes up in the book that I'm looking at says power. And if you'd like, I could just read a little bit
Yeah,
here to
go
give
for
us
it.
a
I
bit
mean,
of
what comes up for me
what.
is horsepower. I mean, that, before the car was the horse.
Right.
Our relationship with the horse, and the horse emancipated us on, many levels, because that was like our automobiles,
Mm.
so it gave us more mobility out into the world.
Absolutely. And I think that, horsepower and fuel, the way we can actually work with what we're shedding this year and what we've had to let go of, whether it was a choice of ours or not, is actually like shed to the earth. You can see that almost like it's becoming part of the compost that grows and builds the new garden, right? So we can work with the spirit of the horse in this right relationship of power and harness that as we build off of what maybe felt broken and what felt lost or stolen or was the suffering, right? It's like, how do we transmute that and see that as our fuel to open up this new beginning of 2026 that's coming? And so, yeah, thanks for that on horsepower. I'll just read a few paragraphs here and we'll see what comes in.
Sure.
Stealing horses is stealing power was a statement made frequently in historical Native America and a reference to the esteemed role which horse played in the Native cultures. Horse is physical power and unearthly power. In shamanic practices throughout the world, horses enable shamans to fly through the air and reach heaven. Humanity made a great leap forward when horse was domesticated, a discovery akin to that of fire. Before horse, humans were earthbound, heavy laden, and slow creatures indeed. Once humans climbed on horses' back, they were as free and fleet as the wind. They could carry burdens for great distances with ease. Through their special relationship with horse, humans altered their self-concept beyond measure. Horse was the first animal medicine of civilization. Humanity owes an incalculable debt to horse and to the new medicine that it brought. It would be a long walk to see one's brother or sister if horse had not welcomed the two-legged rider upon its back. Today, we measure the capacity of engines with the term horsepower, a reminder of the days when horse was honored and highly prized partner with humanity. Dreamwalker, the shaman, had been healed by the visit of the wild horses and knew that his purpose in coming to the Arapaho was to share these gifts with them. In understanding the power of horse, you may see how to strive for a balanced medicine shield. True power is wisdom found in remembering your total journey. Wisdom comes from remembering pathways you have walked in another person's moccasins. Compassion, caring, teaching, loving, and sharing your gifts, talents, and abilities are the gateways to power.
Wait, read that
So
last sentence again, or can you access it easily? That was good. The gateways to power.
the gateways to power.
What were they? There were three things that were the gateways to
Yes,
power. That was good.
here we go. I found it. Compassion, caring, teaching, loving, and sharing your gifts, talents, and abilities are the gateways to power.
Love that.
Yes, and just to honor the author of this book, this is Jamie Sams and David Carson of the Medicine Cards. So yeah, it's like your greatest gift are your offerings, right? And we give and we give and we give until we're not here. Right? And like truly, it's like these are the pieces that we rarely speak of is like we have a life force and a timeline, and then we're the way showers or we're the star nation or we move through to the eternal life or however we see this, right? And what I love about what Tukai taught me this year is to just generously and infinitely give everything you have, like it's like living every day like it's your last. And in contrary to a lot of other people who I've seen live their lives, is like holding back and like not ready to give too much because we're afraid that's all we have. Yet when we open to that infinite supply and we just let the energy and the currency run through, it's like, here's my gifts, here's my talents, here's my compassion, here's my offering, here's my open heart. And then it's like, you can't fill the full cup. You empty, you give, you give, you give, and then there's a new flourishment. It's a
Well,
new word that's
it's not,
coming.
and the word give, like a lot of people, I give so much and I'm depleted and all that, but really it's another word for it is expression. So
Yes.
that you're not giving to deplete yourself, but rather you're tapped into what gives you passion, what creates fire inside you, and then that is fully expressed. And I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen in 2026. We are going to be
Yeah.
so supported in that. But what gets in our way, and you're a very perfect example of it, you just ooze with all that creative fire and passion. But a lot of people, like what gets in our way is thinking we're not good enough. What gets in our way is thinking I can't do it right. What gets in our way is our own critical thinking that judges ourselves, and limits ourselves, and not being willing to make mistakes and make a fool out of ourselves. Who cares? And so society has put us in this little box of how we're supposed to be. Religion has
Mm-hmm.
done that too. And just to really bust loose and not be afraid to love yourself, not be
Mm-hmm.
afraid to say, I'm perfect, whole, and complete just the way I am. And what I have to offer is is beautiful, and so when you don't have that burden of holding back, you can tap into that passion more easily.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the other thing though is there's high days and there's low days. Some days you don't want to do anything. And then I allow myself that as well.
Yeah. And that's all like the divine timing. Like I'm ready to give. I'm ready to, go higher today. I'm ready to like really tap into that deep well of compassion. And some days, we need to just be still and cocoon, and that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll reach that emergence when it's ready, right? What do you see astrologically happening, Miss Anna-Thea, for kind of like, do you feel like you're that kind of visionary where you could see or track what's like right in front of you, or you could see a little further out?
I see way far. My whole
Do
mind
you?
got blown apart astrologically in my time in this last time period since the advent of Three Eye Atlas. And I've
Okay.
tried to explain it to people, and maybe I'm not doing a good. Chiron's in Aquarius in the third house, which means people never understand what I say. But Aquarius is high. I have high mental functions. But anyway, let me try to explain it. We have been lost in time. I woke up just the other morning and it was like, oh my God. And I knew this, the cosmos is always in motion. It's moving, right? And we're in this flow. That's like the feminine. We're in this flow. The planets are moving, the stars are moving, everything's in movement. And we've been stuck. The solar system has been stuck in time with the Gregorian calendar. And
Mm,
so we have been on this reincarnation grid, but the universe has drifted. And my understanding is that it has drifted. And then the 13th sign, it's got I'll just show you the ankle of Ophiuchus, the 13th sign. And that's
oh,
the sign of
good.
resurrection, death and resurrection. So it's like Scorpio on steroids, complete transformation and understanding who you are. Now I'm going to, so basically we're stuck in this reincarnation grid, just lifetime after lifetime, fall, rebirth, that kind of thing, death, rebirth. But through Ophiuchus, there's this other universe. And so this is very like, we're over controlling, we're stuck in time, we've got to, have everything in order. Um, Very, very masculine and out of balance with the masculine and feminine energies. not enough the feminine energy. And so it's brought
Mhm.
us like into a dysfunctional way of existence. And then there's
Mm.
this other galaxy that is starting to touch us. And we have an opportunity to get off the wheel and go into and become galactic citizens. Now, this may sound super cosmic,
I
and
love
it's
it.
really not,
Galactic citizens. Yes. Keep going.
as opposed to solar system citizens. So we are really good at being in the solar system. We've been doing it lifetime, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, unbeknownst to us, probably. I mean, these are what I'm feeling. And so, through looking at your natal chart of the tropical system, the solar system, and then going into constellational astrology and understanding the difference and
Mm.
where the growth opportunity is, it's just a map to get you off the reincarnation wheel. So it's basically, looking into the stars and becoming beyond this mundane world. It's a map to get you there. Now, I'm just beginning my investigation on that, but it changes me from Libra to Virgo.
Mm.
And it might, and when I plug it in constellational astrology, um, it it's like my chart played musical chairs because all the
Mm.
components are there. They just kind of moved around a little bit.
Right.
So instead of Scorpio rising, I'm Scorpio moon. Instead of Virgo north node, I'm Virgo sun, Mercury, and Venus. Instead of Libra sun, I'm Libra rising. So they just kind of played musical chairs. But it's for me personally to ponder. And the other part of it is, and this is a simple way to do it, because I was talking to another astrological colleague, is it's a map for us to go from three-dimensional being to a fifth dimensional being. That's a kind of a more simple way to explain it. But I believe that in the next few years, this is what's going to be becoming more applicable of
Hmm.
us marrying astronomy and astrology because they have been divorced since
Mm.
like the 1650s. They
Mm.
separated out astrology. And it's just like Democrats and Republicans, like, come on, you guys, we're all human beings on the planet, just trying
Yeah.
to evolve.
And to mirror that, the card that came through this morning with our yoga practice was the message of the crow and speaking to that differentiation of human power and sacred power, right? And
Yes.
like, and to just realize that, we don't have to be locked into any which way. There is this, we can expand our consciousness and realize, like, yeah, there are laws in our world. And there's also spiritual laws, right? Like, I give it all to God, I give it to spirit, and I say, please show me how good this can be, or show us the way through. Like, it is a great mystery, and we can't have it all figured out,
Right, right.
even like when we get on our calls, like sometimes we think we're supposed to figure out what we're going to deliver, and it's like, no, 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 let's just open this space and feel what wants to come through,
Wants
right?
to
We're
come through,
meeting the
yeah.
magic of the moment. This moment is here and it's gone, right? As like, that is so precious, it's so impermanent, it's so here and gone. So it's just feeling and holding, yeah, the sacred power of what wants to be expressed.
And
And
what wants
so
to be birthed, like the 2025 was that Saturn Neptune. You just spoke it. And that's what's interesting is we speak the astrology. So Saturn is man's law,
mm-hmm.
moralistically what's right or wrong. And then Neptune is universal law, in rhythm with nature, in rhythm with the cosmos, in rhythm with God. And Saturn is more like you don't have sex until you're married, or you don't, you have to work 9 to 5 for 30 years and retire with a good pension. That's man's law, that kind of a thing. Or you go
Mm-hmm.
to church every Sunday. Those are all man's law. Whereas, and that's Saturn, and Neptune is, universal law, the rhythm of the cosmos. And we're
Mm-hmm.
out of sync with that too.
Hmm.
So I love all the animals around you. Is that another kid
Yeah.
behind you?
Yeah, this is Boomers. Boom Boom.
So cute.
Yeah,
So
great guardian.
precious. But anyway,
Yeah.
I just think it's really, we're in powerful times. And I think, you know, yeah, that's one of the big aspects that has really affected me is the letting go of um, traditional points of view. Well, I was always outside the tradition, but I mean, even my world has gotten blown open, within astrology.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'm doing a lot of deep investigation on that, but it's very heady. And I want to
Hmm.
stay in my body because come next year,
Hmm.
we're going to skyrocket and we need to learn how
Hmm.
to stay grounded in our feet.
That's really cool because that's the card that came out is the baobab tree. And it's a lot about that potentiality to ground and to this whole piece on marrying the divide. It's again like marrying source God, marrying earth goddess, and bringing that embodiment, that marriage right at the holy heart, right? And it's like and just going back to say just going to church on Sunday, it's like what about having reverence and prayer every day or multiple times a day or at every hour or every transition. It's like knowing that we're that capable of expanding and receiving and connecting and attuning to, yeah, the gifts of God, of the goddess, of so the tree and the grounding chords coupled with the message of the zebra is like, yeah, the tree, if the tree's roots aren't deep enough, the tree won't stand the weather. So the next storm that blows in, if we have no grounding cords, we're just not going to make it, right?
Yeah.
So going deep and have that devotional commitment to like, I am safe in my body, calling in and invoking that safe, sacred space wherever you live and sleep and work and journey and travel and everywhere we put our feet on the ground, that we're dropping back into that remembering that we are connected to these deep roots and like the branches taking us up to those high reaching places to connect. Like, yeah, it's really having that safe anchor and always coming back to that because it's so easy to get like whisked away and just fall apart. And then it's like, yeah, we need to sometimes build things back up, but it's from the ground up that we rise. And without those deep roots, what foundation do we have? Right.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah,
So what grounds you, Jada?
prayer, gratitude, knowing that I'm in service to love, that I'm in service to true authentic healing, that my body is this body is an instrument and I get to open my crown and open my root and let the light of God, the light of day through me, and to know that I'm in service to participating with spirit and I don't know what's next. And that's okay because I trust, right? If I could have made it this far in my journey through what broke and cracked and shed and fed the new garden that's like starting to grow through, I just have such radical surrender and trust and prayer to, yeah, call it the galactic interstellar beings, call it God, call it divinity, whatever you call it. It's knowing like we're all these rivers going to the same ocean. So there's no need to fight. There's no need to separate. There's no need to, hold on. Like even I had to catch myself in these last few days where like, the invitations to fight through something came in and it's like, okay, well, I can't change that outside currency, but I could look at what I can move in here. So, oh, I need to shed more ego. I need to go higher. I need to let them win because in the end, it doesn't matter. It's just this like radical surrender that there is a divine plan. And I'm not trying to steer the wheel. I am giving it to God and to the council and to spirit. And that helps me feel safe. It's like, oh, it's like knowing. it's like when someone's got your back, it's like knowing that like we're all protected, but
Well,
we
it's
have to believe.
interesting. This last year, we're in the nodal axis, which is the portal that our souls come through. It's Pisces Virgo, and
Yeah.
it's both surrender and showing up. So, like, yes, let go, surrender, and then the end of our life is the ultimate surrender of having to let go of shed our bodies. But it's a combination of surrender, but also showing up. Like you want to surrender, but you don't want to be walked all over. So what comes up within you, inside of you, to not be walked all over, um, can either be over aggressive and
Mm,
stomping back and power control and ego, or it can be this balance of true divine
mm,
surrender and then just showing up in your truth without having to being, in over ego or trying to make a point or trying to make them wrong and you're, the wrong, the idea that they're wrong and you're right. That's where we get all tripped up, you know.
mm, I think really too what's coming in just with the new cards have come out, the owl and the ant, really speaking to community. And like, sometimes we have these old programs like what you're feeling, all these emotions, the grief, the shame, the we don't want to hear it, stuff it down, carry on. That's the old world. Okay. We all, as the human family, have been carrying so much. And the sooner we come into the vulnerability and the courage to express our hearts and to hold and to see and to connect in community, having conversations like these, laying down the ego, the expectations, what I'm supposed to be, how I'm supposed to show up,
Mhm.
and like really reach deeper. We need more depth in our world, not this like shallow surface level
Right.
carry on, just glazing the surface of life. Like, if we want more out of life, we have to dig deeper to get it. We have to excavate some of those denser, older, turn those stones over, right? Like, live life like you leave it all on the floor. You've given everything you can to the day, to your practice, to your relationships, to your family, to your devotion to spirit. But the owl with the ant is showing me like I'm just reflecting still on this ceremonial weekends, even in the medicine wheel teachings and the circles that come together to like really like see each other and hear each other, and someone else's pain and someone else's breakthrough is our pain and our breakthrough, and we're moving that collectively. And so we don't have to be afraid of our pain and our suffering and those old hurts, right? Like, these are the old laws that like we get to break those shackles and like open up to that sacred power, this invitation of a new beginning that we're coming into 2026. And this is like the horse, this like great master of the universe, like way shower, like get on my back, it's a fire horse. It's like, how do we really, yeah, step in with true, authentic power? Well, we can't be playing with surface level stories. We can't be playing and operating on these old programs. Like, we don't work with computers that were made 20 years ago, right? Everything gets upgraded. Why wouldn't we be upgraded? We're divine instruments of transformation. We are upgrading all the time. So if we're going to hold on to the old laws and the old punishments and the old stories and the old wounds, then we're not going to ascend the way we want to.
Right.
And the easier way to do this is to come into community. So build your circles, right? Like, whether they're online or you're showing up in other community circles, and like see each other and thank each other for expressing their vulnerability. And that took courage to share that. Thank you. That gives other people courage to like, oh, well, I've got this piece that I'm like ready to cry about and give to the universe, and let it transmute, let it move. And yeah, witnessing each other, and that's the connection, the
Yeah,
highest
and I think
currency.
if you haven't done that, you think that you're the only person suffering. And when you realize when you're in these circles and people are sharing vulnerably, then you actually realize you're not alone. You're not
Yeah.
alone. And you can develop more compassion too for yourself and for others.
And sometimes it does feel like all we're carrying are a bunch of broken parts, right? I mean, and if we're going to work with the perspective or the old programs, like, yeah, well, we are. Then we're suffering and we're working with all these broken parts and broken stories and broken families and all these wounds, and that's where we are. It's like, well, hold on. That could actually be the gold mine to alchemize, to work through, to cry about, to release, to express, to make art with, and actually tap into horsepower. That is the horsepower. If you think you've got broken parts and shadows and all these pieces you don't know what to do with, what if that was like your bank account of millions and millions of dollars? Like, what if you took that and you harness that and you let yourself move and operate, turn that soil? Because we all have that. We all have wounds. We all have karmic ancestral wounding from our lineages, from our past. But look at how far we've come,
Yeah.
and there's so much more ahead.
And the bottom line or the bottom message is that we've got programmed, if you want to put it into a global statement, is I'm not good enough. That's the imprint that we all on some level got. And not only are we more than good enough, we're literally, without ego, magnificent beings of light. So what I really like is this idea of just realizing the mental chatter that if we listen to some of the thoughts that we tell ourselves, and like the words that we actually use to disempower ourselves, oh, you're so stupid, why did you do that, saying that to yourself or something like that. And it's like, stop believing, this is a huge one, stop believing the message that you or society tells you that you're not good enough. you
Mm-hmm.
know I mean,
Well, you'll
I mean, I had a gorgeous body. I still do. It's my sacred temple. But my legs weren't thin enough. My belly wasn't flat enough, whatever it was that I was really judging. And then, aging is like a personal development program because it got to a point. I mean, I even wrote the book, Empower Yourself by Loving Your Body, The Woman's
I
Guide.
love this book. Great book.
I know, reclaiming yourself as sacred. But then it got to a point where it was like, oh my God, when am I going to actually love my body? It's never going to be perfect as defined by society. And what I explain in the book is pleasure is the antidote to food and body image issues. But it's so crazy. We suffer with so many food and body image issues, and not pretty
Mhm.
enough, not good enough, not smart enough, not rich enough, not. And it's like, as you get older, it's like all you got to do is just accept how amazing you are. And even if it's just you believing in but when you start doing that with yourself, you're going to see the amazingness in other people as well, you know.
Mhm.
But I'm
Mhm.
telling you, it's so powerful to go through the aging of the physical body if you've had judgment of your body, because it's like, when are you going to actually truly just embody your body and just feel the sacredness of the journey within the body as your temple, you know?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and I think for our listeners today, maybe just a simple but profound takeaway is, I know you and I sometimes when we're having a day, like we'll call each other and we'll get into that practice of like, it's like a game, like, okay, what are we calling in? The
Right.
vibration of our words, right? Like, okay, so I am I am free of the obstacles of the past. I am forgiven, right? And speaking the language and the vibration into time and space versus those self-doubt words and statements, right?
Right.
Sometimes, I shared with some students recently, like, even before I go in to hold a circle or I'm going to share some art form or performance, or there's some energy, that like, sometimes there's nervousness or anxiousness that comes through, like I'll just stop and I'll go look in the mirror and I'll look right into my own eyes and I'll say, you got this. you know, and it's like that language of like, I'm
Yeah.
holding
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
and I want to give you the best of what I have.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it has to start within, right? So maybe we could practice today, like, yeah, whether it's looking in the mirror or just standing outside and remembering I am abundant. It doesn't matter what's in your bank account. We are surrounded by the abundance of trees and hopefully fresh air where you live and clean water.
Yeah.
And we are abundant in natural resources. We are rich with life, you know? And to breathe in and to speak this language is important because we are what we speak. We are what we eat. We are all these invocations are important, right? They're weaving, we're dreaming the whole new world into being right now
Totally.
as we speak.
Absolutely. And we've inherited a very limiting language. So it's up to us individually to change our verbiage. And so really paying attention to the words that we're using. A simple one is trying. I'm trying to do blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
Instead, I intend to create thus and such. So, but it's paying attention. It's really paying attention because it's inherent in our language.
And sometimes we just have to slow down to do this,
Hmm.
right? Because
Hmm.
like then we start tripping over our words, we're going too fast. And even like meeting timelines, like, oh, I need to get here. And so it's just like you're mowing through the day or the moment to get where you need to get. But then it's like, well, can you stop yourself? Can we stop ourselves and just like ground and remember like, okay, the earth is beneath me. There's this like whole vault of wisdom underneath my very feet. And I'm gonna take a breath and know that I'm held. And I got this, right? And those are the roots that grow deep. When the storms hit, you're holding on because we've made these connections. To try to do life all on your own is unsustainable.
Yeah.
And it's actually not even fun.
Well, the
Right?
paradox is that ultimately we are it's the paradox is that we actually are an individual soul having a soul journey, meeting up with different people along the way. And that's that whole grief thing, that we can have these deep connections, like the connections I had with my parents that have been gone since 2003, 2016. I
Mm,
mean, those are huge, deep love bonds,
yeah.
and that they're gone, they're gone. So we're journeying in and out. And like you said, in the very beginning, love is eternal. You
Mhm,
never lose that love.
mhm, mhm,
But it's an interesting paradox of, like you said, we need each other, we need to be in community, but we also have to balance that with that autonomous, independent self that is actually having a soul journey through the cosmos, you know?
mhm.
That's where I'm at with it. And it's so funny with the goddess cards, what I keep on pulling up is the card, I think it's Bast, independent, you know?
What do you get from that?
Oh yeah, that it's I'm on this journey um for self-realization, to just realize who I am beyond this ego, beyond this personality, beyond this person called Anna-Thea that I've
Hmm.
created, you know?
Hmm. Hmm. And
Um,
when you attune to that sovereign chord of light, that wholeness that you achieve in that embodiment is your greatest gift to the fabric of life.
the field, yes, the field.
Right. And so
Yes.
that's really cool. So the Miracle Messenger is out, and it brings me to just a vision that came through, I'd like to share in a drum journey that we were guided into the heart of the mountain just a few months ago. And the gift that I got on this, like, subconscious journey work that we do, I went in, and the question to track was, how am I in collective service to the whole? And what came through was this really beautiful vision of like this anchor point in the earth opened, and it was like this diamond portal, and all these hummingbirds, like little millions and trillions of diamond lit hummingbirds, like flew through my central column and went out the crown of my head and like became this web of like diamond light, all these threads. And in those threads and in that web were all my ancestors.
Wow.
Everyone who you don't see, who you think is gone,
Right.
was in the web. And they were like,
Right.
and it was like, and it's like, oh, I'm in a physical body. This is my turn and your turn and our turn to incarnate into the physical body. And here we are. And it is a gift. And it's also a gift when we transition out. And we're part of this in this field of total wholeness. And like there's no like those little tendrils and diamond lit threads, the weave, the web, the whole, whether you're a glimmer of light or the hummingbird or the central canal, it's all beautiful and it's all one. And it's like sometimes we're just moving through other, like the metamorphosis of a butterfly. We're in a cocoon, we're flying, we're dying, we're becoming the new. And it was a really beautiful
That's
vision that came
so
in.
powerful.
Yeah, and a lot of times I'll just go to that, as my own grounding cord. Like, okay, I want to be in service to this time and space, this medicine space, my home, this conversation. And I remember that fountain of eternal love in all the directions. It's an entire web and we're all holding it. So no one's better off.
No. And you know what else?
It,
It's a web of love and
that's right.
interconnectivity. So maybe I never saw my great grandmother, but I'm still very much in that whole web of energy of love and existence. And then the other thing too, what came up when you were saying that is that part of our job, I mean, yes, we're here to create and be of service, but we don't do that through victimhood or like servitude or martyrism, which is the old paradigm. Just being in the human body and emitting joy, sincerely emitting joy through our heart to others is, one of the most beautiful things we can actually gift to that field is that
Hmm.
sense of I'm okay, that sense of I'm at peace with
Yeah.
my own existence. And then when you don't have that peace, that you do whatever it takes to get yourself back to that state of equilibrium. Instead of going off to addictive behaviors or seeking outside yourself. And that's why that oneness is so important for the collective, for all your ancestors.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, and that fountain, that vision that came through, like the service work, the answer is that self-forgiveness, right? And also, I was like, okay, one more card. The serpent is out. And I love that because it's like,
Wow.
keep coming back to where we are, right? Like everybody wants to know, what's the crystal ball? How do I get to that next place? It's like, have we digested where we are? Have we really found gratitude and healing and forgiveness of ourselves and others for where we're at right now?
Now, yeah. Yeah.
So it's like always, and I love a healer once shared with me, if you want to save the world, you must come home first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, and that's our greatest gift. Like, and so there is that sovereign piece. And then there's this whole like totality of interconnected embodiment. One, we are one.
Totally.
So, yeah, for someone who's shining really brightly in the world, we get to celebrate that because that is a reflection of our human experience. And we're part of the same species. And we're like seeing the potentiality and the growth and the massive healing potential that some of us are tapping into. And some of us are like, well, I'm not there yet. It's like, don't be mad about it. Open your heart and let that inspire you. Let that move your engine, your horsepower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get on the horse.
Well, that,
We're all getting on the horse.
right. Well, 2026 and the horse, it's like what is, it back in the day when the horses became the horsepower, before automobiles were there, it upgraded, up leveled our existence. Well, if this is the
Mhm.
year of the horse, how is it going to upgrade and up level our existence metaphorically this coming year? Are we going to gain wings to fly? Are we going to have more spiritual mobility? I mean, what intuitively do you think the metaphor would be?
I think that we get to thank all of our wounds, our sacred wounds, because they can't alchemize and be in service to the new garden to grow from the dark, dense compost that sometimes we think this is broken or this is trash. And it's like, I don't know, there's trash and there's treasure. We thank we thank life for its experiences and all of the gifts and all of the teachings and all of the lessons, as hard as they've been, and let that fuel the horsepower of what we're opening to all step into being way showers, not just some of us. How are we way showers for the new times?
Yeah.
It's an invitation. Funny, sometimes you grow up and you hear, parents or other people say to you, get off your high horse, eh? Get off that high horse. Well, I think it's time we say thank you truly to the wounds of the past, fuel up from that like gold mine of alchemy, and get on your high horse and let's go. That's
Get
what
on
we
your
would
high
say.
horse and
Let's
elevate to
go.
your next level. So this is the trick though. Get on your high horse, elevate to your next level without chasing something empty, without
Right.
chasing, just allowing yourself to open up. See, that's the paradox. So
And to
it's
do it authentically, right?
mm-hmm,
To do it
mm-hmm,
authentically. Maybe you're not ready to get on your high horse. That's okay. Why? What needs to be reconciled? What needs to be digested? What needs to be dissolved?
or
What needs to be
processed or let
forgiven?
go
What
of.
needs
Yeah.
to, yeah. And it's okay, because when you get into that process and you actually start working on yourself and you start making that forgiveness work and that peace work within, you do get momentum. You do start moving through it. It's not like doomsday. Nobody likes to do the deep work, Like I started even the ceremonial work this weekend, and it was like I met some really dense energy and I just wanted to cry and go home and lock the door and just not speak or see anyone. And I was like, no, you stay in this and you move through it. And I did. And I'm grateful for that. And so I thank my wounds. I thank them for helping me to build the foundation under my new feet for this new day. And I thank God for opening my faith and my trust and my belief that, like, I'm not here to do this alone. I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Miss Anna-Thea, for just like any astrological glimmers, any golden bits
I think
to
just,
leave with?
that whole Neptune Saturn thing that's happening and where it's happening in the chart is in the last degree of the zodiac and the beginning degree of the zodiac. And this has happened all through 2025.
Mm,
I mean, there's so many other things. There's the retrogrades that happen. The retrograde that happened from March 15th to April the 7th was a very powerful retrograde that went through your chart when your beloved transitioned. And so that was in your area of support, home, and hearth. And so if we're looking back at 2025, I mean, this is just kind of like a simple thing of, I was thinking about, people are always talking about Mercury retrograde, Mercury retrograde. But it's like, well, what sign is it in? And where is it in your chart? Is it in the area of finances, relationship, career,
mm,
spirituality, your own personal passion, your own personal expression, work? So it's funny that they just say
mm,
retrograde and, oh, Mercury, it happens about 3 times a year, every year.
mm.
But knowing deeper, like I'm always here to help people if they're interested to give them an astrology reading and to help them really understand their soul's imprint and see how they can step more into what they actually, their soul wants them to do. But this Saturn Neptune is that Saturn is man's law, and Neptune is God's law or universal law. And these two have been dancing partners over the end, the last zodiac sign and the beginning zodiac sign. So it's been like going back and forth. It's now retrograde back, both of them in Pisces come was it February the around the 20th is when they're both going to be boom in 0 degrees Aries, and so it's going to be like this huge burst of go time. But now's the time to really process and churn and be like, what is it I have to let go of? Or maybe I'm not clear where I'm going. And you know what? That's okay. And just know that that you're just processing what you need to let go of in order to step into more of your horsepower, you know?
I love that.
And so
Yeah.
I that's what I feel is kind of coming. What else do I want to say about that? And it's really a balance because the nodes are Pisces, Virgo, which is Pisces is just letting it happen and Virgo is making it happen. And so it's this balance which we talked about of knowing when to show up. It's a serenity prayer, which I cannot recite, but it's God give me the grace to understand when, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you're familiar
I
with that.
love that prayer. Can I
Yeah.
call
So
it in?
it's when to show up, when to know, give me the wisdom to know when I'm supposed to intervene or when I'm supposed to step back and just let it be in spirit's hands, you know?
Yes.
And that's the axis that we're on, rabbit.
That,
Okay.
that's knowing when to take action and when to be
When
still.
to
So please
not,
keep going.
And
Yes.
so, this micromanaging, over controlling, nothing's ever good enough. That is just
Mhm.
that is more and more becoming, it has to be if we're going to grow if we're going to evolve, letting go of that stinking thinking, letting go of that stinking thinking and the limiting thinking and really just it sounds so cliche, really loving who you are, but really claiming the sacredness of who you are and your sacred, unique expression and your imprint that you're offering, or that expressive impulse that you're actually offering to the universe. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to express it, because that's what the impulse is going to be. Um,
Mhm.
Even more so next year with the horsepower, the Aries point, the beginning. Aries is the entrepreneur. Aries is the passionate creator. Aries is the rebel. Aries is the warrior, the survivor.
Yeah. So start preparing and harnessing your fuel for the horsepower to come.
Yeah.
And in that, if you're unclear as to maybe some of the work that you as an individual need to work on, I highly recommend getting a reading with you, Miss Anna-Thea, for those out there who are like in feeling into their own unique makeup. And it's like, well, what is it that I need to work on and see? And sometimes we need counsel and support in those ways. So I highly recommend readings with Anna to really look at all those pieces that might be fragmented that you can call in and bring into alignment. And before it goes away, I do want to call in the serenity prayer.
You do know it. Okay.
Yes, actually, it was like the first prayer that came in when I was a young teen that really like held me and still does. And it has for so many people. Um, so calling it in, calling on Great Spirit, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen and aho.
So it is. That's
And so
beautiful.
it is.
That's beautiful. That's discernment. That is discernment. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
beautiful. The other thing is, are you doing any events that you want people to know about? I mean, I'm always like, I'm teach
Yeah,
astrology. I
sure.
don't have an outstanding class that I'm offering in this moment, but I'm available for astrology readings, and I'll leave a link down below so that you can see what areas of your chart are being affected by this Saturn Neptune and where you're supposed to let go of beliefs, or where the retrogrades are going to be next year. eclipses, all kinds of good stuff, what areas of your chart, what your soul purpose is too. What did you come here to do? But Jada, what
Mhm.
are you, do you have any events that you're offering right now that's are up and coming that you can share with us?
Yeah, I feel like I'm taking it a little easy the tail end of this year, but I feel really called to holding family card reading circles where like of course I could do a one-on-one oracle read for you. I'm really drawn to working with the family healing aspect, that wholeness. So if you and say a partner and children or grandmothers or just whoever the family dynamics are a lot, and it's really special to sit and to anchor together and to pull cards. And everybody's card is like everybody's card, so nobody's singled out, and it becomes a really nice experience to like hear each other and see each other and maybe have that cry or that release that's been like held back for a long time. And so I really want to call in the harmonious, perfect balance for families. And so maybe there's an oracle reading for you and your family. You can just reach out and we can set that up online or in person if you're local. And yeah, I think that's really it right now. There's always yoga and dance medicine, my heartbeat of life. I'm so grateful to all my students who've been supporting me through this year and this whole lifetime, really. We are the medicine.
Yeah, so beautiful, Jada.
Yeah.
I always would like to mention that piece, art piece behind you, that is Jada's art, and the cards that she shared, that is her art as well. So you're an amazing dancer, performance artist, and artist, and animal lover, obviously.
Oh,
I
how could you not be?
I know. Well, that baby is beautiful. Maybe one day we should sit in front of the fire with all of our animals. I only have one now, but she's 18 years old. Her name's Gracie, and I love her. She's in the other room sleeping. She's a sleeping girl.
Oh,
We could have our
sweet.
animals around us while we do our next
Yeah,
spiritual update. So everyone,
yeah.
thank you so much for listening. Miss Jada Fire, thank you so much. I just so appreciate our friendship, our connection, our soul connection. And until next time, we'll have links down in the bottom for you to connect with us. And always, please like, share, thumbs up us, and comment. We'd love to hear your comments as well. Have a
Yes,
beautiful
and I'll
day.
now and I'll put this link as well on my YouTube channel, and we'll both support
Perfect.
these stories and
Perfect.
conversations. I love you so
Okay.
much, Anna-Thea,
I love you too,
and
sweetie.
stay connected. Connection is the greatest currency there is.
I love it. I love it.
Until next
Namaste.
time, mwah,
Okay.
namaste.
Bye.